We all know how important it is to show gratitude to our volunteers. And yet, how many people in the nonprofit sector find themselves scrambling at the last minute on Volunteer Appreciation Week? Gratitude isn't just good for our nonprofit organizations. It is also good for us as individuals. Studies have shown that people, on the whole, are happier when they are focusing on gratitude. Of course, it also feels great when our own work is recognized. So here's 10 ways that you can authentically and proactively thank your volunteers for the work that they are putting in to your organization. And now, on to the main event. First tip, VIP baby. Or as Anna Delvey says, VIP is always better, Vivian. But seriously, with our nonprofit, this was such a crowd pleaser with our volunteers. Basically, you either get your volunteers VIP access to an event that they would definitely want to go to, and of course give them plenty of notice, or get a VIP who will come visit them during some sort of event that's already easy for them to get to. I worked for a political advocacy organization, and our volunteers loved getting time with these rock star elected officials. Be sure to really think of this as a thank you and not as a recruitment tool. It might feel like those two things just like go together so perfectly, but if you want your thanks to feel genuine, you can't ask for something else in the same breath. Sometimes you just need to say thank you. So invite your volunteers to something exclusive that you know that they'll love, not just something that you happen to have free tickets to. Tip 2. Let's get the swag conversation out of the way, all right? It can be great. Your volunteers love you and they devote time to your cause. And for the most part, they love sporting your gear, showing that they are part of your team. Of course, if you're an environmental organization or a climate-focused organization, you'll want to be extra mindful of your volunteer sensibilities about these things, especially disposable things. Even if you aren't an organization focused on the climate, it's always better to produce something useful and of high quality so that you are not contributing to a landfill. Maybe there's a good local maker who you can partner with to design something very unique that you can give your dedicated volunteers or board members. Having, that just like nicely designed, well-built, special edition piece from your organization is just such a touching gift. And every time the volunteer sees it or uses it or picks it up, they're going to think about you. So sweet. Number three. Nice professional photos. Okay, if your organization was like mine, then your team struggles to remember to take photographs at every single event. Well, you can try bringing in a professional to one of your big events, or you can just tack it onto an existing event, or just invite when volunteers happen to be around. Make sure that the photographer is indeed a professional and understands your goals to be able to share these photos specifically with your volunteers. And point out who those volunteers are. Alternately, you can set up a photo booth and encourage all your volunteers to participate in it, again, with a professional photographer. The kicker is that afterwards, you can print these nice photos of your volunteers and either send it to them or just digitally share. You can even go a step farther, especially if your volunteers are just embarking on their professional journey. Bring in a professional photographer to do headshots one day. And then you can share the high resolution files with them for them to use in their professional career and you to use in your own materials. Win-win. So nice. So useful. So for tip 4, this is where it's going to be really important to understand your volunteers' love language. I have more on that in my free gratitude planner that is linked in the description. What I mean by that is Someone's highest praise is someone else's most embarrassing moment story. Public praise is not everyone's cup of tea, and I advise getting consent. If you are not 100% sure that the individual you are hoping to shout about from the rooftops is 100% into it. But there are some really cool ways to do this. You can check out sites like Volunteer Match that regularly feature volunteers and submit a write-up about one of your rock stars, or use your own channels to do it. And for the right person, there is nothing like good old-fashioned oration about their talents in front of their peers. But like I said, this one can backfire if the person is not into it. I would just mention to the volunteer that you are hoping to take this action because they really inspire you and you think that their actions will inspire others. But let them know that you want their consent first. If they decline, you can just give them a sincere thank you right then and there and make a note so you remember that next time. Here is one that really speaks to me, an at-home spa kit. Yes, let's watch some of that aromatherapy over here. Because the revolution is exhausting and all of us need a little help relaxing sometimes. There are exactly 5.1 million YouTube videos out there on how to make at-home spa goods that you can check out. I like doing like maybe a salt and sugar scrub, a little flower water mister, maybe an herbal tea blend. You will need to invest in like the small individual size bottles, but the bulk ingredients for these products are usually pretty inexpensive. Maybe it's a fun staff activity to prepare the concoctions together for your volunteers while indulging in a nicely scented candle and perhaps some tea for yourself. People of all gender expressions love to be pampered and also like their floral mixes balanced with a little bit of spice or savory. It's all about the balance, all about the balance. So I will leave a couple of my favorite recipes in the description box, but please comment below if you have a favorite recipe for some giftable at-home spa goods. I know there are some really good ones out there. Okay, similarly in nature to the fourth idea, you will want to have a decent understanding of your volunteer's personality for tip 6 to land. You do not want to make it too awkward. But the sixth idea is to thank them until it is awkward. Not too awkward. And you want to do it sincerely. You want to use specifics. You're going to do it face to face if possible, virtually, over the phone. It doesn't matter. If it's a board member or a volunteer that you're already interfacing with regularly, take them out to coffee and do this. If for any reason you can't meet in person, try to hop on a video chat with them and then thank them until it feels awkward for you. That doesn't have to mean literally, but for many of us, it can be a good practice to go a little farther than what we are comfortable with on things like that. This is where a daily gratitude habit will come in so handy because you will be writing down details all the days, daily. That's what that means. Because you're going to be writing down details and you're going to have a bank of things to draw on so that you can give specific, honest, and sincere thanks. All right, number 7. Here's an idea, a mocktail party. And then a little packet with the special ingredients and a recipe for mixing very easily. And then you want to make sure anything else they have to get is really easy to obtain. And then you can hold this virtually. Or if you are able, gather in person. Just be sure there's lots of garnishes because I really truly believe that's what makes a mocktail. Like the at-home spa kit, this is a great healthy way to indulge, and there are so many great recipes online. I can link a few of my favorites below, but please feel free to share your favorites in the comments. Mocktails make sure that everyone is able to participate in the festivities, and they are actually very, very delicious. Okay, so tip number 8. This is a little bit of a radical one, so bear with me. What about paying your volunteers? Now, if you are thinking, but Tiffany, what about labor laws? Well, you must live inside my head, because I also first thought, what about labor laws? How this concept can be applied for different constituencies will vary by organization and by state. However, there are organizations out there who are testing this model so that they can increase participation in their organization's volunteer programs for low-income people who can't afford to take the time off of work. I know most nonprofits are always working with huge underfunding, so this is a scary topic for many people. It's also an exciting experiment in practicing equity in our work. I will consider following up with another video on this topic if there is interest, because I think it is a radical idea worth exploring. All right, number 9, a classic, baked goods or other forms of delicious food. Now wait a minute before you tell me I'm sending an already overworked woman back into the kitchen at the end of her day. Tie on the old apron, honey. I don't mean you have to make the food. You do not have to bake the food. Honestly, unless you moonlight as a pastry chef, and sadly that's believable as both jobs pay very badly, maybe you should just leave it up to the professionals. If the staff or you do go out of your way to do this for the volunteers, it should count as work time. I hate that I have to remind a lot of nonprofit people about that, but I do. Okay, final tip. And if you are here with me to the end, please like this video. Thank you. The final tip is another one that won't be right for all your volunteer groups, but is extremely popular among some volunteers. And that is specialized training opportunities. Most volunteers will tell you that they have a lot of pride in the work they're doing for you. Offering a training that will help them learn a new skill that they can apply at your organization or elsewhere shows how much you value their participation in the work of your organization. Just like a VIP event, make sure that this is standalone, not tied to an act of volunteerism or some other activity that they are doing to contribute to your work, unless it's a practical application of the new skill that they have been training on. This can also look like special talks from a thought leader in your field that the volunteers are going to learn new information from, or new ways of talking about the issue. I get that it is so hard for a nonprofit leader to juggle so many constituencies to think, from your delivery drivers to your board members, not to mention your workload of thanking donors and ensuring that your staff feels appreciated. I highly recommend getting into a daily gratitude habit. That way you can be collecting specific things that you're thankful for and ideas for how you can show appreciation as you go. To make it extra easy for a busy nonprofit leader to do this, I created a printable PDF gratitude planner to help you build and implement an annual gratitude plan. We put so much planning into other aspects of our work that we want to be really intentional about. So why not gratitude as well? Why not gratitude? If you liked this video, please consider subscribing to this channel. I'm only planning to post once a month right now because I want to focus on getting really good, useful content out to you. I also provide nonprofit consultancy specializing in building and expanding advocacy programs, strategic and tactical planning, and staffing transitions. My background is in reproductive rights and justice advocacy, and I have worked widely with leaders in the progressive movement. You can check out the full menu of services that I offer at my nonprofit consultancy at the link in the description. Thank you so much for caring so deeply, and as you think of ways that you can thank others, I want to thank you. I hope to see you next time. Bye!